and that's coming. I like to get that out this summer, but I've been working on that since '91. Basically, to um, if I find some other information uh, that may be different from what I heard, or from what I have in my book, then I make sure it's as close as possible to the truth, and I change it.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
edit my own book.
Have you written a book?
Yeah, yeah.
Do you have any copies? What's the name of your book?
It's going to come out in 1991. I mean, this summer. I started in 1991. I didn't have no I gave it a temporary title called Spirit-Based Knowledge. But I am going to put a Lakota name on it, that title. But that's the whole thing about after I studied our way of life and our way of prayer, that our way of prayer is the closest to God. Because that's what our whole language, we don't have cuss words. We don't have violence. We don't treat our wives. We don't beat our wives. Our children are, we call them wakanja. Wakanja means sacred children. Um, we treat our children very gentle. We raise them in a gentle way. In our language, they say wahwala, wahwala ichaga, and because they're close to God. And we call God Tunkashila, our grandfather. We made God our grandfather. That His energy is all over. So our teaching is more humane than what I've seen in the boarding schools of the whippings and beatings
Right.
and all the things that my grandfather told my dad, who my dad told me what he went through. He survived Wounded Knee and then lived with the Standing Bear family in Wamblee. And from there, all those children, they call them Ablancha, children that had no parents, were sent to Carlisle boarding school to be the first. And he stayed 6 years without seeing our relatives. And during that time, I think if you Google Hiawatha, not Hiawatha, if you Google the Carlisle Indian School, you'll find out how they were treated. Well, he survived 6 years of it, and he went underground there with his knowledge of our spiritual ways. And he came back and he married my grandmother named Nettie Hornships. Nettie Hornships is her father was Ptehe Woptula, was he was the only one with that was identified in a lot of our treaties that was recognized as one of our spiritual medicine men.
And what was his name again?
Buffalo Hornships. Ptehe Woptula. So my grandmother, from my grandfather and my grandmother had 5 children, and my father was the middle child. They had 2 younger sisters, 2 older brothers, and they both died. They died from the viruses that came through. The 2 sisters lived, they intermarried other families in Pine Ridge and other places that I'm still trying. I know one married into the Poor Bear family, and that I don't know whether the other sister who she married, but I have relatives that I hope they're knowledgeable, that people come up to me and they say, "I'm your cousin. I'm."
Yeah.
So I shake their hand, and,
Yeah.
and I like to research more about finding out more how are we related. I've got a friend relative coming in 10 minutes, so I'm just gonna.
That's the one from Crow Creek.
No,
Fort Thompson.
no, that's another one's coming
Oh,
later.
that's another one.
Yeah, this one lives in Marty.
Oh, okay.
But
So yeah, well, appreciate what time you got. There's a lot more questions, but you need to do what you. And I was gonna let you pick out some. Did you look at the art prints yet?
Hmm.
See which ones?
Excuse me. So, I got it.
Okay.
So this first one is what? Do they have the artist's name on them? Or?
Yeah, inside there, they're all Joanne Bird.
Oh, okay.
They're all Joanne Bird.
Through the Honka way, she's my relative. She got adopted into the Ross family, and Dr. Alan Ross adopted me as younger brother.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
So do you know Gordon and Joanne pretty good?
I played in a band with Gordon
Oh,
before.
really?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, Gordon got inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and he played in the band. Well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
What did you play?
Bass guitar. I started playing bass guitar when I was in middle school. Actually, I started with 6-string guitar, then I moved up to playing bass. All the way up till the 80s, and I basically, when I sobered up, I also went that alcohol drug route. I sobered up, and because that's how I started finding out what trauma can do to a person. I went through a bad
How
divorce.
old were you at that time when you sobered up?
32.
So that's when. But you'd already been to college.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you were drinking probably during that time.
Oh, yeah.
You were self-medicating.
Well, I could have graduated in '76, but I married my first wife, and it was a bad marriage. I got an older boy from that relationship, and from that, it really traumatized me to go to alcohol, and I basically, in and out of college until '79, I decided to sober up. I sobered up '79, I graduated in 1980 with a bachelor's degree, same place, Dakota Wesleyan. I started in '73, and I didn't graduate until 1980. 3 of those years I went up to Canada. I lived with my first wife in Canada.
We're at in Canada.
Sioux Valley.
Sioux Valley, yeah.
And
You know the Bones and
Mhm.
Mezwashuchinas and
Yeah. Yeah. I well, anyway, I came back, and I was determined to graduate, and went back to school. When I left, I took 5 Fs, and so my GPA was too low to graduate. So I went to St. Agatha University, who accepted me and they put me on the college work study program. So I basically paid my that year and a half from college work study. I paid for my own schooling, my books, everything. That's how determined I was to get my bachelor's degree.
You were.
And when I graduated in 1980, well, actually I sobered up in '79, and I graduated in 1980, and then I met my second wife and went back to grad school. And '83, my mother was dying. I had to come home. I'm the youngest in the family, so I had to come home and take care of her.
The Pine
Yeah.
Ridge?
In Wombly.
Wombly. Oh,